All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode here on the Lure Lab, a part of the Serious Angler Network. And as always, I am your host, the Captain, Andrew Full. And I just want to say, I hope everyone is gearing up here for the holiday season. We got Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving. People are in the woods starting to deer hunt. And this is kind of an important time of year for people who are out shopping, looking for Christmas gifts, Xmas gifts, whatever festive holiday celebration that you and your family enjoy and share traditions in. And one thing that is always for certain is that there's probably some type of gift giving going on. And that is the premise of today's episode. These are going to be options that are going to be good gifts to get for the beginning angler that is coming up and wants to learn how to do it. Or if you're money conscious and you're fishing on a budget, maybe some combos that you may want to add. And the whole idea behind doing these little series, and Bailey and I were chatting about it, is we can't forget about the ones who are starting and the ones who are on a budget. So we want to make sure we're talking about all of these minor details. You can get a really good rod and reel combo for less than $200, or you can go spend 500 and 600. You don't need to go spend $1,300, $1,500 on a combo. So that's what we're talking about today. We want to keep everyone in our minds as we're doing these episodes and sharing information, because that's what's most important here. Is it's an educational system. It's keeping everyone a student. We're forever growing and evolving as fisher people and fishermen and anglers. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about budget friendly rod and reel combos and more expensive rod and reel combos for the tournament angler. And we're going to dive into rods that I've used on the lower end side. I don't have them here with me, so I'm going to pull up a link from Omnia. All the descriptions are going to be down below with the links, so you can click on, go straight to Omnia, use our discount code that's down in the description, and hopefully save some money if this is what you want to go over there and purchase. And then some of the other rods, they're going to be Alpha Angler rods because that's what I use. We're going to talk about a couple reels for each one. It's just all around setups that are best for lower budgets, mid to high end budgets, best bang for your buck. And for those who are just now getting into fishing and those who are avid tournament anglers who just love fishing and love to spend money on good quality gear. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go spinning rods to casting rods, and we're going to talk about the best all around rods, reels that you can buy for the low end to the high end. So we're going to go over 4 combos, 4 rods, 4 reels. Well, 4 reels, spinning and bait casting. So I hope everyone enjoys this episode, because these are a lot of fun, and we just want to be able to bring the education to everyone who enjoys bass fishing or is wanting to get into bass fishing and is tuned in for the first time. So I'm going to challenge you, if you're new here or if you're not, maybe down in the description, if you're on YouTube, throw in the comments what combos you like and maybe the price point on them. I'm really curious to see what everybody is using. And if you just name the casting rod and reel or spinning rod and reel, I can even go and look it up as well. I'm pretty savvy on the price points on a lot of these things, just because I'm always looking and always shopping and trying to find the best bang for my buck for my clients that are on my boat, as well as for me to use. So let's dive right in. We're going to start with an Omnia link. This is a spinning rod, and it is the Daiwa Tutula XT spinning rod. And for the beginner that's purchasing a spinning rod, like, I personally am a 7-foot medium fan. I use all 7-foot mediums, but you can go up to a 7-foot medium heavy if you want to be able to do more application. So I would say start with a 7-foot medium heavy. This rod is $99.99, so it's less than $100. I believe our Serious Angler code down in the description does work on this, so you can save 15 or 10 set. And they also have a Black Friday sale going on, and maybe some of the stuff that's listed and that we're talking about today will qualify for that Black Friday sale, which is 20% off just about everything in stock at Omnia. But the Daiwa Tutula XT spinning rods, like I said, under $100. They're actually really light. They feel great in the hand. I love the grip that is on this rod right here, that foregrip that comes forward that allows you to have your grip forward on the reel. So pinky behind the reel, your 3 fingers in front of it. You can even put your pointer finger on the blade for extra added sensitivity. The 7 foot medium heavy though, like you can throw wacky rigs, spinner baits, lighter spinner baits, Ned rigs, heavier drop shots. You can make really far casts if you put like 20-pound braid on it, 10 to 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. You can just overall catch a ton of fish with this combo. So that would be the first one that I would recommend if you're looking for an entry level rod that's not going to break the bank, that's going to have high end sensitivity for its price point. Tatula XT spinning rods. And this isn't going to be a Daiwa heavy show, even though I do use a lot of Daiwa products. I do use a lot of Shimano products as well. So for a spinning reel, and this is one that I have used quite a bit, and I think you can't really match the drag on an Abu unless you go into a higher end mid-range Tatula or Shimano spinning reel. I think Abu Garcia has one of the smoother drags for the price point. Abu Garcia Revo X spinning reel, size 30. You can get away with putting the 20-pound braid on there. It's $119.95. And it tells you right in there how much braid you can put on. So 6 pounds, 150 yards. Or you can have 6-pound mono, which will give you 110 yards. So approximately probably with a 15 or 20-pound braid, you're probably going to be able to get 80 to 100 yards out of it. Let's be real. You're not going to be able to cast 80 to 100 yards. That's plenty enough. You're probably going to be able to get 110 to 150 feet in a cast, depending on what bait you have on it. And I love a Revo X spinning reels. They have very smooth drags, a little bit heavier of a reel, but they work great. They're basically bulletproof, and they also have a really cool design that Abu Garcia has put on these currently. So that would be the best bang for your buck starter rod and reel. You're going to get the Revo X on the Tatula XT. I think that's going to balance really well. You're going to be able to do a lot of things, catch a lot of bass on it from the bank out into the lake. And like I said, we're not trying to make it one brand specific heavy here. So I hope if you try this combo, let us know. I think it'll work out great for a lot of people who are trying to get in there right around that $200 price point, be able to catch you a ton of bass. So now we're going to move into a little bit more expensive combo here. So let's go into, well, actually, no, we're going to stay on the lower side of things, but I'm going to stay with the same rod for the casting side, and that's going to be your Tatula XT. And for casting to be able to do everything that you want, it's going to be a 7-foot medium heavy. And the preface on a 7-foot rod is that you're able to do a lot of techniques. It's going to have a little bit more of a parabolic bend to it, so you can get away with doing a lot of things. But at 7-foot medium heavy, under $100, this rod is going to allow you to do a lot of things. You can flip Texas rigs with it. You can throw bigger spinner baits, buzz baits, probably put braid on it, 50-pound braid and frog, or flip lighter grass vegetation with like a 30-pound or 40-pound braid, maybe even flip up to like a 5/8 ounce weight. So it's going to be a good rod for you at $100. Reel is going to be a Shimano SLX. And I actually have one sitting right here. You can get away with the SLX 150 size Model A, right-handed or left-handed, 7:2 to 1 gear ratio. I actually have it right here. I'll pull down the Omnia screen. I should have said at the beginning of the show, if you're listening on MP3, it might be a good idea to go over to YouTube, because I'm going to be pulling up the Omnia website, and you're going to be able to see all of the baits and the rods that I'm talking about and the ones that I pick up that I have here. So Shimano SLX, they're $99. They palm in your hand really well on a rod. They're 150 size, so they're not too small. They're not a 200 size, so they're not too big. I don't have small hands, but I have a lot of issues with my elbows, so I need a very palmable reel. And this combo is going to get you right at that $200 price point, $99.99. Basically unbreakable. I throw a braid on this. I throw 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon, chatterbait with it, spinnerbait, frog. The SLX is basically an unbreakable reel for the price point. And if it does break, it's not going to kill you to go out and spend another $100 to get another one after you absolutely abuse the crap out of it. It's bulletproof, casts great, easy to adjust. You can just pop off the side plate here, get in here. I like 3 on and 2 off in the internal brakes. And then you have this knob here that allows you to fine tune and cast. Normally, you don't want to use this one as much on some of the higher end reels, and we'll get into that shortly. But 3 on, 2 off, I believe was what it was. Let me reopen it. Yeah. So there's 6. So sorry, I have 1, 2, 3, 3 on, 3 off. And I think that's the perfect amount of magnetic braking to be able to control most baits with the SLX. So that's going to be your first 2 combos. So now we're going to go into just slightly more expensive. Let's go the spinning rod setup. And those who tune in should know that I am an alpha angler guy. Those are the only spinning rods that I use. So we're going to talk about what spinning rods I use here. And for the spinning rod side, type here, alpha angler. For the spinning rod side, you want for sticking on that 7-foot range. And for spinning rods, the one that I like the most is going to be the Alpha Angler wrench. And let me pull it up here so I can pull it up, share screen. And I know I apologize. I'm not the absolute tech wizard here that some of the other ones are on the podcast network. So bear with me here and I apologize. But the Alpha Angler wrench, it's a 7-foot medium. I would argue it's more of like a 7-foot medium heavy. Line rating is 8 to 14 pound test. Lure rating is 1/4 to 5/8. 7-foot medium fast, so it's got a nice parabolic bend. And the cool thing about the Alpha Angler website is it's going to tell you everything that you can do with this rod, like shaky head, wacky rig, jig, skipping, Texas rig, Senko, Nako, drop shot, tube net, jerk bait, square bill, ball head, swim bait. And I would even throw out there that you could probably throw a lower size, like a 1/4 ounce spinner bait on it. A lot of guys will do that, and you'll be able to cast it really far. This rod's a little bit more expensive at $295, but they're some of the most balanced rods that I've ever used. And everyone who steps on my boat knows that I am an Alpha Angler, basically almost addict. So it's the only rods that I have in my boat now currently, and they're insanely sensitive, extremely well balanced with the right reel. So for reels that I will put on there on this side is you're going to go, like, if you want to go real high end, you can go a Daiwa Certate. If you want to go decently priced, Tatula MQ, $200. So you can get a combo at $500. You can buy the Daiwa right on Omnia 30 size. You can load that baby up with like 15-pound braid in or 20-pound braid or 10-pound braid and cover all of those techniques that are listed right here on the website. The MQ has one of the smoothest drags for a reel under $200, and it is extremely light. So that would be my go-to spinning rod if you were to purchase a mid-range to higher end spinning rod combo to use. Now let's bump over to the rods. And this is where it gets really fun with the Alpha Angler rods, because there's 2 that I really want to recommend, but we had to go into one. So Alpha Angler just released a new rod. It is the Zilla 2.0, which is a redefined Zilla rod. You're going to be able to throw jigs, swim jigs, skip with it, Texas rigs, Carolina, Senko tube, frog, spinnerbait. So this is literally the rod that they designed to do every little thing, every single technique. It does it all really well. None of them great, except for, I would argue, maybe like a frog rod. It's probably the best frog rod that I've ever used. You can throw a 15 or 20 pound fluorocarbon on it. You can flip weights up to 1 ounce. You can frog with it and really drive them and get them out of the grass. Um, Nice parabolic bend to it, and that's one thing that I love about Alpha Angler rods is every rod is designed to be able to do a lot of techniques really well. None of them great, and none of them will underperform on these rods. You can even throw a mag draft on the Alpha Angler Zilla and land most of the fish that bite it. So it's a really, really do everything rod. Now, what I pair all of my Zillas with on my rod, on my boat, is more on the expensive side, and that is the Daiwa Zillion SV 7.3, I believe it is, right? Is their medium range reel. So hold on, let me pull it up here. I should have done this before talking about Zilla. Not Zilla, it's Zillion. Too many Z's. So yeah, it's a 7:1 gear ratio. So let's pull it up here. So yeah, that was Zillion. There it is. Beautiful chromed out reel, super light. It has a clicker drag system. I don't know if you can hear this. So when you're fighting the fish, it clicks. A higher end reel like the Ebu Garcia Xenon, which I believe is like $549 or $600, has that clicker reel, but you're getting it here for $369.99. This is going to be the perfect higher end mid range combo with the Zilla coming in at, I believe it was $270 plus $370. Now you can take a step back with the reels, and I would go with like a Corrado MGL 150 or 200, and that will be about that's like a $200 to $229 reel that you can put on the Alpha Angler Zilla and have a really, really good combo under $500. You can do everything with these combos, catch a ton of bass if you're on the bank or if you're on the boat. Pardon me, that cough caught up on me. But those are the combos that I would purchase if I was beginning or fishing a long time like a dude. And I'd spend 100+ days, probably almost 150 days on the water on my boat from March until October. All the Alpha Angler rods and reels are what I have on the boat. Daiwas, Shimano's, SLX's, Corrados, Zillions, SV Tutulas. They're all great. There's a ton of them out there. Do your research and buy what you think is the best purchase for you. I just want to give you a starting point of where I feel like is great entry level rods and great mid range rods that if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can and get a great rod. Or if you want to spend a little bit less and you can still get an excellent rod that will help you catch a ton of bass, be able to cast really far, have the extra sensitivity to help fuel those extra bites and get them to the bank or in the boat. So I hope you enjoyed our first shopper's guide episode here on the Lure Lab to help point you in the right direction if you're a beginner or an advanced angler. We greatly appreciate everyone who tunes in on a weekly basis here on the Lure Lab. If you're on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you are new here. And if you haven't done so, leave a comment down below what your favorite combo is, maybe even the price point range like we mentioned earlier in the episode. And if you're on MP3, your favorite podcast platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. Helps this podcast be seen by more anglers like you and I alike. And we greatly appreciate it. And we will see you all next time.